Good afternoon and welcome to Robin Minds. My name is Isabella Adediji. Now, this week we've had quite the headlines. I mean, we had the aviation minister saying that the sector is deregulated, so there's little or nothing the government can do, and travelers are having to pay double, triple, in some instances quadruple the amount they would usually pay for airfares, and that is really getting in the way of some of the dirty December plans or just normal going back home for Christmas, for the festivities. Among some of the headlines is the defection of the Rivers State governor from PDP to the ruling party APC, and this past week we had some of the End Bad Governance protesters released. Quite a lot to discuss, and I have with me Justice Ojieno, a lawyer, joining me for this conversation. Welcome to Robin Minds.
It's my pleasure to join you.
Let's start with the airfares. I don't know if you plan to travel during this festivity or maybe go visit someone, but I know I've gone online to look at the prices, and for a family of say 5, the prices are going into the million. That's just it, and that 5 includes children. So just to go to the capital and back, you're looking at north of 1 million. How are Nigerians supposed to travel, especially when the roads are so unsafe? So is air travel now going to be something just for the uber rich, the 1% of the 1%?
Even the 1% of the 1% too have joined the pressure against the airfare hike and sector generally. Ironically, within the hour, my auntie called me and asked me, "Oh, the justice, when are we going to see you? Promise to come." I told her to bar the thought for now, and unfortunately that seems to be the situation that we are in as a country. It is terrible for integration, it is terrible for the economy, because if you have to make a business trip and maybe a client is to bear the cost of whatever service you have to render, and you have to show up there, then the clients will have to consider bearing the cost of airfare, which has become inevitable. Is no longer a thing of luxury. It used to be that maybe, yeah, people couldn't afford it, but this time it became, just like you said in your intro, quadrupled. And just mention it, and it's very, very hurtful to the economy. It's very, very hurtful to the average Nigerian. It is very, very hurtful to see this happening, and it is also doubled because we had a situation where the roads are terribly, terribly unsafe. It is not luxury to want to go by air anywhere. It is because we have now made kidnapping is generally a business, and unfortunately so that is why anybody who wants to say they want to take the risk of going by road, they're going to be penny wise, pound foolish, because if you calculate the amount they're going to be paying for in the unfortunate circumstance that a person gets kidnapped, and compare it to the amount of airfare you have to look for it by hook or crook. So I feel that it's very, very sad, and it's very, very unfortunate, and the government should, as a matter of urgency, not fold their hands and throw their hands in the air, as the minister is saying that, oh, the industry is deregulated, there is nothing they can do. But I think that is too defeatist, and that shouldn't be the approach of a government to any challenge that is seriously bedeviling the people, threatening the economy, threatening social integration and all. They have to do something about it.
And what are some things they can do? Because I want to believe that Nigeria is not the only market where aviation has been deregulated, and you do have competition. It's not like there's just one airline that is dominant. You have several airlines playing in that space. So what are some things that the government can do within a deregulated sector to ensure that we're not having to pay cutthroat prices and, as you said, hurt the economy? That's loss of jobs, that's loss of income. And I mean, the dirty December people are coming. They would want to explore different parts of the country, spend their dollars, their pounds. But with those excessively high airfares, it's looking like it just might not play out?
They're sweet dollars. They're sweet dollars. They're sweet pounds. I want to beg them that no matter what the Nigerian government is saying about this situation, they should still bring it into the economy, because even oil is not giving us the kind of FX, direly needed effects that they are going to give us. So, having said that, with respect to the government, what they can do about it, I feel that as much as possible, yeah, they've come to say they are not taxing that much, but they have to tax further less. If they cannot make Nigerian Airways work, which is an alternative that the government can use to actually make the fares a bit more base, they have to look for a way to subvert the amounts that the players in the industry are spending. For example, they can subsidize it. In a manner of speaking, they can forgo the tax and the charges. They can outrightly actually forgo it in order to make that space be able to be something that maybe businesses can afford more, and Nigerians, especially with the emphasis they are putting on dirty December people, they too can be more inspired to come. So if the government provides the local airway, of course we know that usually is because it's the cesspit of corruption. That's why they have...
the previous administration did launch an airline
cesspit of corruption.
I mean...
but we know that they just slapped the brand name on maybe on one or two airplanes that were borrowed from Ethiopia. We didn't own the rights to the aircrafts, and maybe that was why that couldn't. So, because, yeah, a lot of people will say that government should not be in business. Government should just create an enabling environment. Yeah, maybe if the government is not doing that, if they are not awakening or resurrecting the Nigerian Airways in one way, shape or form, then they should ensure that they either subsidize the industry or outrightly remove all the taxes and charges and all. And again, they should look for a way to ensure that the barriers of entry into those spaces, the regulations and all, they should look for a way to moderate it. Yeah, we know that the airlines and the airspace is a very, very dangerous line of business. It must be tightly regulated, not just in Nigeria, but all across the world. But any regulation that goes to affect finance, they have to look for a way to deregulate it. That's number two. Number three, all kind of leases. The government can actually buy aircraft and get the airlines to lease it. We don't have to wait for international organizations to be providing us with dry leases, wet leases, and all the other kind of leases that make aircraft easily as available. The government should go out, if even on a limb, to strike deals with international organizations and countries to ensure that everything that the Nigerian average airline operator needs to be able to do well in this space is made available to them. Yeah, the minister is doing a bit with the way he's pushing for air peace and all to succeed. I think that I should do it a bit more for other airlines in order for the life of the average Nigerian to be a bit more comfortable.
Very, very important points that you've raised, and I do hope that they are listening, because indeed something can be done.
Absolutely.
But just putting your hands up in the air and saying
no, it's not acceptable.
No, I mean, Nigerians have to move, businesses have to grow.
Absolutely.
And those connections need to be made. And this is also a wake-up call to security agencies to provide a safer alternative. I grew up going by road and going by air, and it depended on but now it's almost like nobody just says they're going by road anymore.
Gen Z will not even know Nigeria. They will not know Nigeria, because I prefer you alive than put your life at risk by telling you to take a road trip.
And there's also accidents that continuously happen on our roads. So it's not just the issue of kidnapping and banditry, but there's also just the sheer number of accidents that we record on some of our roads. I want us to move to politics. Are we sliding into a one-party state? Did it come as a surprise when the Rivers State governor, Fubara, defected from PDP to APC, or was it bound to happen, considering that he wasn't in control of his state for quite a while? And do you think those were some of the terms of the terms and conditions for him to come back?
I want to believe that it is a lot. Yeah, we say that politics is a game of horse trading. Sometimes you're looking at the horse, you don't know which one can run the fastest until you put them to a race. So that's why they call politics a game of horse trading. So I feel that if we look at eventually, now the Rosses have left the stable, they bolted, and we can see definitely that this must be the faster horse. So in this case too, I think that with everything that has happened subsequent to the peace pact, the fact that the government, just like a hand sliding into a glove, it has moved naturally after the peace pact into the APC. I want to believe that it was part of the bargain, and of course there was no uproar. Nobody's shouting at him that why did he leave the APC?
So nobody's surprised. You're not surprised.
I'm absolutely not surprised. And this again goes to show that I personally, I say that all politicians are crooks because a lot of times it's not what they say that they mean. So I'm not surprised. I'm just totally disappointed at the people that they have felt that, oh, they are voting based on ideology and they want to die. For these particular politicians, they should be regretting themselves now. And that's why I always say, don't die in their war. They are politicians. Whatever it is you are feeling for them is not permanent. The only thing that is permanent is their personal interests. So don't die in their war. It's just politics. Join them to participate in it as a civic duty, but do not be partisan about it. Do not be fanatical about it. Don't take it beyond the ordinary. Don't kill yourself for it. Don't fight for it. Don't engage in violence for it. Politicians are who they are. They are absolutely unstable. The only time they are stable is when their interest is involved.
And why do you think that for the people of Rivers that voted PDP into government, that there wasn't that uproar? There wasn't that, oh, have you changed your political ideologies, or is this more of political survival? And how come we didn't see that see people speaking out and taking to the streets and registering their displeasure that, look, this is not the mandate we gave you. We gave you the PDP mandate and now you're in the APC. Do you think that the people have been bought, or do you think they are okay? Or do you think Nigerians are just getting used to the fact that eventually the majority of the states are all going to move to APC and we'll all be happy with it? I
think that we are assuming that there is an ideology behind Nigerian political parties. People feel that, oh, because of their migration from here to here, they are moved from one ideology.
So it's just a vehicle.
I feel that it's just, and unfortunately, the Constitution makes our country a democracy that has to be determined by political parties. So there is no independent candidature. So you have to have the vehicle of the party. So whenever you feel like you can jump from one political party to another party and just maintain your ideology. And in Nigeria, there is no political ideology that benefits the Nigerian people. It's just elitist that benefits the politicians. They just need an avenue to grab power. And that is why they participate in politics. With respect to whether they will all eventually join the APC, we have, as it stands now, it's 30-6. 30 APC parties to 6 non-APC parties. The others are so splintered, they're just 1-1-1 or something like that. Maybe PDP has 2 by some sheer luck or accident. And I believe that in Osun State, I pray for Mr. Deleke to win. If he doesn't win, because he looks very, very politically vulnerable to me. The Accord Party too is going to probably be the 31st state for the APC. So eventually, before the elections, we'll probably have a situation where APC has 34 out of 36, and it's even unheard of that it's going to be a 36 out of 36. So how is there going to be an election? Why are we still debating whether Nigeria is a one-party state or not? It is, and there just has to be some form of miracle or mishap.
So if we do slide into 34, 35, 36, who then holds the APC accountable? Are we as a people strong enough, or do we need political parties, opposition parties, to provide the checks and balances required in a democracy?
Okay, for some of us, I've screamed myself was when all the dominoes started falling into the APC, and it looks like, oh, for me now, I've given up on whether there's going to be opposition. There is no opposition. There is no opposition, and there is not going to be an opposition. The most viable opposition would have been a political party. Another form of opposition would have been the legislature checkmating the executive. But that never, ever happens in our country. What we have is a rubber stamp rancard in the legislature that just goes on your mandate, we shall stand legislature. So there is no opposition from political parties, no opposition from the legislature. We are assuming that it is the...
What about the media? Are we strong enough to provide the checks and balances to hold this government, APC-led government, accountable?
Yes, we have select media that are doing their best. Ordinarily, I would have loved sometimes what's happening outside of Nigeria with Fox News, checkmating CNN and MSNBC and things like that. It would have been a fantastic one if they can hold their ground like that. Where we have Fox News devoted by hook or crook to the Republicans, and CNN and MSNBC devoted by hook or crook to the Democrats. That would have been very, very tough, because every person that goes into political office knows that is that Fox News is going to come against me, or CNN or MSNBC will come against me. But Nigeria, it looks like we do not really have that. We don't really have strong media. Yeah, this platform is doing the best they can do. The other platforms, so I don't want to drop names, are doing the best they can do. But again, what about the journalists behind it? Journalists, if you weaponize poverty and they are not paid the best they ought to be paid, how would they be professional enough to be able to hold power accountable? What if a politician calls them to the back and offers them what we call the Godfather offer, an offer which they cannot refuse? Who says they will not fall? They are also humans. Yeah, you can say everything about journalistic ethics and things like that they are not supposed to, but in the face of a Godfather offer, how many of them? It's only a few exceptions that will be able to say, no, I hold to the ethics of my profession. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to ask the tough questions. Aside from, okay, the journalist has asked the very, very tough questions. The editor who is supposed to be the gatekeeper, the owner of the platform who is supposed to platform it, who says the politician cannot call them behind and make them the Godfather offer that will make them either cut the journalist loose and all. A lot of things do happen in background that will make opposition increasingly tough against this particular government in power. Again, we must remember, the leader of the party is a savant, in a manner of speaking, is a genius when it comes to politics. Anybody who can just be hypocritical and insult him or do anything you want to say, but this person is a genius.
There's a reason why he's called the Jagaban. So, a political master strategist, and we see this at play. That being said, are you expecting people to actually come out to run for president on different parties, or do you think it would just be a walkthrough where, bow and go, more or less? Or are you expecting some of the popular people, like we've seen the former vice president, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku, we've seen the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last elections, Peter Obi. Are you expecting these people to come forward, or maybe even a woman for a change, to come forward to say, look, I'm going to give the APC government a run for their money, and I'm ready to challenge Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president?
In an ideal setting where the people actually determine who becomes president, and the governors are not going to manipulate or intimidate and some other actors are not going to do that, I would have said a yes. But now I just think that everybody should just save their efforts for 2031. I'm sorry, I have to...
They should save their money, their efforts, they shouldn't rally the troops.
They should save their effort, they shouldn't... What troops? What troops? When the power blocks...
Let's look at the young people who went with so much hope to the polls.
The young people participated in the last election with so much optimism.
Yes.
I participated with so much optimism. Of course, I didn't support Jagaban in the last election, and I didn't hide my take or my preference for another politician. I supported Peter Obi with everything within me.
So if Peter Obi was to come out again, will you support him, or will you say, Peter Obi, don't waste your time, let's just give it to Jagaban?
In all honesty, I will support him, but maybe will not as much zest as I did the last time. Because
why
I know
is that? Is it that you don't believe in his candidacy, or you don't believe that we're politically mature, or the INEC will conduct a free and fair elections? What's changed over the years?
I'll give Mr. Amopitan, the present chairman of INEC, the benefit of the doubt that he's not going to be as horrible and horrendous as the erstwhile, the immediate past INEC chairman.
Who is on the ambassadorial list, right?
Who is, yes, and unfortunately so, who immediately after I did a horrible, terrible job, was given national honors, and was given the ambassadorial. I don't know what favor is going to be given again after this, because it just looks like we are going deeper and deeper into shame, into celebrating failures in this country. So I don't know what other surprise I'm gonna be seeing with respect to how a person who is supposed to be, who is a total disgrace, is going to be honored in this country. So I'm going to give Mr. Amir Piton benefit of the doubt that he's going to do right by this country, and the votes of the Nigerian people are going to count. But having said that, it is 30/36. No governor. It will be a shock and a surprise for a governor to lose in this environment. And again, he is incumbent. This savant, political savant, is incumbent. The president is incumbent.
But President Goodluck
Jonathan, I have to say it three times.
President Goodluck Jonathan was
incumbent.
That is
the greatest gentleman you will ever see in politics. He was incumbent. He didn't even contest it. So Mr. Jonathan is unusual, is an angel that has never, is a type of angel that we have never ever seen his type in the history of political power in this country. I probably will never see it again. Then we should start prayers for people like him in 2031. If he doesn't participate in this, we should pray to have such angels in 2031, because I do not see any other political leader that we've had in the past yielding power and conceding power in the way he did. He plays the court, he refused to go to court. That's the only time we've not had presidential election petition in our country, in the entire history of our country. From the beginning, Awolowo and Shagari and Buhari and INEC, and just count them.
So let me ask you, who will determine the vote? A lot of times the Northern Bloc says they hold the majority. And when you look at the division of the states and where the votes coming from, and then you have someone like the former Nasser El-Rufai, who said, look, we're going to sweep him out of power, we're going to get him out of power. For him to make such a bold statement like that, is there something that's happening in the North that we're not aware of? Or is the North going to fully support this APC-led government?
I don't have the gift of clairvoyance, so I may not be able to say with pinpoint accuracy, with surgical accuracy, what the answer will be. But I don't think that Nasser El-Rufai is speaking for the Northern Bloc. He's speaking for himself. We've known the kind of politician that he has been all the while. So, but I feel that, see, part of the North, in fact, in Southwest, we have one governor that is not APC. In Southeast, we have two. Okay. Oyo State and Osun State. Thank you very much for the clarification. In the entire North, it's just 2 out of 19. It's 2. I don't see how, because we have 2 in the Southeast, none in the South. I've never heard that. That has never happened in the history of this country before. But in the North, in the entire 19 states, it's 17/19. I do not see how they will not deliver the votes for Jagaban. It might just be, okay, maybe 1 or 2, it can be
so
unusual.
What you are saying is that the governors are the people who will determine to a large extent.
Unfortunately so. And they are going to deploy political speak to say, I'm the governor of the state, I'm speaking for the people, I'm the custodian of the voice of the people. Whereas last week, you and the entire people were in PDP, for example, in Rivers, you were with the people only for you to just wake up and go to APC. And we are just also assuming that the people too, as robots and zombies that are not thinking, they just wake up and tell them you've joined another political party. They drop their brain they are dimwits and they have also followed you. That's the assumption. But unfortunately, that's also going to be the reality of the numbers that we are going to see. And that's why I'm saying, let's give Amupiton the benefit of the doubt. If what I'm prophesying or proposing is eventually not true, and the people go to the votes, and their votes count against what their domineering emperor-like governors determine it should be the actual count of the eventual votes, then I'll believe that, oh, we now have an angel at the helm of INEC who is going to let everything work. But generally, except for what happened in Lagos State in the last election, where an opposition party won against the incumbent governor, generally, the order of the day is that whatever figure the governor has dictated against the actual right of franchise of the average people is what often carries the day.
So will you still go and vote? And if yes, if your candidate from the last elections declares his presidential bid, will you mobilize people? Will you use everything in your being like you did? Or will you just vote for the sake of your conscience and let, whatever is going to happen, happen?
I think it's going to be the latter. I'll vote for my conscience. I may not want to extirpate the level of energy that I extirpated in the past election.
Even with this hope you have in the new leadership at the INEC?
It's 30/36. It's probably going to be 33/36.
Well, all we can say is that 2027 will be an election for the books. Thank you so much, Justice Ojieno, for your contributions. And only time will tell if you're indeed a prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go on a quick break on Rubbing Minds. Don't go anywhere.